Hello all. This is Jacobson and this is a brief retelling of the 24th and final episode of the 11th season of the zombie series The Walking Dead. For a retelling of previous episodes, see the links in the description. As soon as this video gets 300 likes, I will release the retelling of the new series. Enjoy watching it.
Daryl brings Judith to the hospital and starts screaming for help. As a result, he is knocked out by soldiers, and she gains strength to go close the doors in front of a horde of walkers. In the end, both lose consciousness on the floor, and Judith does not receive the necessary help. Things are not going well outside. Luke is bitten by a weaker, and the others are fighting and trying to survive. Daryl is in the hospital, wakes up with a bandage on his head. Carol is now in the ward with the others and Luke is not in the best shape. Judith lost a lot of blood. They are crying in the ward, because it looks like Luke will not survive. Carol says that there are no more doctors and nurses and medicines, since Pamela took everything and left everyone to their fate. Daryl asks about Mercer. She says he's being hunted by a team. At this time, Luke dies. Daryl tells Carol that his blood is suitable for anyone. When he was a kid, his mom sold it for money. He wants to give Judith blood. At the other end of the room, Luke is covered with a sheet. Mercer is in a padded cell. Max and the princess come to the rescue and free him. Maggie loads up the weapons, and most of the heroes leave together in a military van. Meanwhile, Rosita, Gabriel and Eugene destroy the walkers and hear the baby crying. Rosita arranges ninja fights with walkers and saves the child. Aaron communicates by radio with Gabriel, who informs him that everything is fine with the children. They're going to meet at the hospital. Daryl is with Judith. He gave her some blood, but she still doesn't look good. He takes her into the room and barricades the door to help Carol. Walkers are getting smarter and hitting glass windows with stones. Daryl, Carol, Maggie and others are working feverishly to kill the walkers and get to a safe place. They enter Judith's room through another entrance, grab a stretcher and struggle to get to safety. Eugene, Rosie and Gabriel are trying to free themselves from the crowd of walkers. Eugene and Gabriel climb the pipe to the wall, and Rosita follows them. She falls and, thinking that she is finished, starts kicking and going at them. She climbs into an ambulance, and then jumps on a pole on the wall and gets to a safe place. They finally get Judith to the doctor. Lydia is also being assisted with an amputated arm. Aaron tries to comfort her, but then tells her that sometimes she will still feel that the hand is there. She asks him if he has any hope, and he replies that yes, he is not giving up. Meanwhile, Maggie has not seen Negan for a long time and goes in search of him. Negan with a rifle goes after Pamela. She asks him what his purpose is. He replies that there is no goal, and he does it for her. He says that if Maggie kills Pamela, then OT will come after her, so he's going to do it himself. He says he's been thinking about how she feels about seeing him. Negan says he is very sorry that he took her and her son away from her. She takes the rifle and walks away, but then turns around and asks if he's coming. Eugene approaches Rosita and tells her that he can take the baby out of her arms for a while if she wants to rest. He tells her that he can take her to Oceanside with him in the summer. He has a surprise for her. During all his research on parenting, he came across a scientific study that says that teaching a child to swim helps him in many ways, including self-confidence. She shows him that she was bitten on the shoulder when she fell. She then tells Eugene not to cry and to gather his strength. She tells him that everything will be fine. He tells her that he loves her very much. She replies that she loves him too. Max asks Eugene if he's okay. He replies that everything is fine, and does not tell her about Razit. Daryl and Carol are with Judith when she wakes up. Daryl calls her an ass-kicker. Shots can be heard in the distance. This Commonwealth shoots everyone who tries to climb the gate. Mercer tells them that this is not their battle. Ezekiel says that this place is worth saving, and he will not let them fall without a fight. Aaron agrees, as does everyone else. Outside, people are crying and shouting for the Commonwealth to open the gates, but Pamela is on the other side and doesn't want to do it. Negan and Maggie have a good chance to deal with her. Mercer comes out with his team. Pamela screams for him to be arrested, but suddenly sees what kind of support he has. Mercer tells her that she shot a militia member and brought the dead to their doorstep, and now left thousands of people to die. People are begging to let them in, as the horde is getting closer. Gabriel goes forward to open the gate. Pamela orders him to be shot. Daryl asks the Commonwealth what they are doing. Daryl says they have one enemy, and it's not the Walking Dead. Gabriel is given a key. Mercer arrests Pamela and tells the guards to handcuff her. The gate opens and everyone flows in and closes the gate just in time. Pamela approaches the gate and sees that one of the walkers is Hornsby. She approaches him. Maggie shoots him and saves Pamela, and then says, "Now we will take back this place." Part of the horde is inside the gate, and everyone is trying to fight them off. They turn on music to gather walkers in one place. Walkers are heading to the estate. They blow up the estate, and the horde burns up like toasted marshmallows. Pamela is in a prison cell. Carol says they made a disgusting decision to let her live, but at least they don't have to worry about who gets her house. Negan is sitting outside when Maggie approaches him. She says she thought about what he said and thanks him. She says she knows now that she will never be able to forgive him. Glenn is gone, and she will never love anyone like that again. She remembers his smile and what he made her feel. But when she looks at Negan, she only sees the bat coming down on his head, as well as the blood in his call to her. She hears how Negan taunted her while Glenn was dying. Therefore, she cannot forgive him, but she is grateful to him for saving her son, and she knows that he is trying. She tries to and doesn't want to hate him anymore. He can stay. All she has are her memories, and she doesn't want to remember Glenn like that. All the survivors are sitting at the dinner table, including Judith, and enjoying a meal together. Everyone raises a toast to Luke. Daryl looks at Negan and nods his head. Rosita looks around at everyone and smiles. Gabriel walks up to her and asks if she's okay. She replies that everything is fine and she just wants to remember this moment. She whispers in his ear. He looks at her and begins to choke. Gabriel takes Rosita's hand and tears roll down her face, but she smiles at him. Judith sees this exchange and realizes that something is wrong. Carol and Maggie take Rosita to the room where Coca is sleeping. Rosita lies down on Scott's bed. Maggie and Carol leave the room. Daryl watches them from the doorway. Gabriel is kneeling by the bed and reading a prayer. Gabriel gets up and tells Rosita that he will see her again someday. Rosita kisses the cook, and Gabriel takes her away. Eugene sits down next to Rosita and says he wouldn't be the person he is today if he hadn't met her. She puts her hand in his and says she's glad it was him. Rosita closes her eyes and dies. Eugene begins to cry. A year later, Eugene lays roses at the memorial wall, on which Rosita's name is written. Mercer and Zeke speak to a gathering of people. Daryl is there too, and he looks absolutely clean, better than we've ever seen him. The horses see him and they embrace. Judith is given a gift from Negan. This is a compass with the initials G and a note. Negan writes that he has always helped him find his way, and he returns it to her so that he can help her guide her dreams. He thanks her for letting him use it. Carol and Daryl sit down and he tells her that she took Hornsby's job and made it better. It's like a happy place where everyone hugs each other. She cries, and he says they will never see each other again. She tells him that he is her best friend and they hug. They go to Daryl's motorcycle, near which Judith. He says that if he finds her parents, he will bring them both. She tells him that he deserves a happy ending too. Daryl says he will definitely come back. Daryl then hugs Ezekiel. Leaves them alone, and they hug for the last time. Daryl tells her that he loves her, and she reciprocates him. He drives off on the road, passing by walkers. Finally we see a live Rick. He says he thinks all the time about the dead and the living he has lost. Elsewhere, Michonne says she thinks about everyone every day. They will always be together, even when they are apart. Together they are parts of a single whole. They gave each other one unstoppable life. Michonne and Rick write letters separately. She writes that she knows Judith is out there somewhere, and so is her brother. She also knows that Rick is out there somewhere and that he is alive. She'll find him because she knows he's trying to find them too. Rick is on the beach. A helicopter flies over it. He is ordered to raise his hands up, which he does. At this time, Michonne is riding towards the Arday of walkers. Judith says they have to start over. We are the ones who will survive.